What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? Can you all give me an idea if you can hear me right now? I want to make sure I'm not having any mic issues. Awesome, awesome. All right, I am looking to see, let's see, I'm working on a design for a client right now, so I may have to wait just a little bit to get some feedback. But Kaylin, if you're here, please let me know in the comments. That way I know that I can speak directly to you while we're working on the design and any input or changes that you have. We can go ahead and implement those. All right, and I'm just downloading my template right now so that it won't mess up the live stream. So just a moment, and then I'll be checking on the comments here. So keep in mind there might be like a 20-second delay. So if you're talking to me, sometimes I get a little carried away, but I'll look back down at you. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you all see Kaylin in the comments, y'all make sure you let me know, because sometimes I'll get a little carried away with the design, and I want to be able to check back down at the comments here. Just want to say hello to my fellow creatives. I see y'all. Now on the Facebook side, I don't see your I don't see the names, but I see your Rona and Sharon. 50 plus, that looks like a new name. Welcome, finding her way. I see you, baby. Bless our women. That's a new username too? I haven't seen that one. And then of course, Facebook users, I can't see your names, but if y'all come on over to the YouTube link instead, then I can see your chat. Okay. All right, love. Yes, the screen is blank. I'm about to change that in just a moment. Let me go ahead and pull up my template in Photoshop, so I'm not doing it while it's streaming, because the live stream does tend to affect the function of the Photoshop. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now, and you all let me know in the next about 15 seconds. If you see my screen pop up here, you should see the Photoshop screen and the Roses Remembrance shirt. Shanon. And Kayla, let me know if I'm saying your name correctly. I just saw your name. Perfect timing. I just pulled up the file. I want to go ahead and express to you my deepest condolences. This is a project that I'm very, very happy and honored to be helping you work on. And I hope that we can create with some love and some real good energy this evening. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at your notes, but I want to let you know that if I'm doing anything that you either want to change or update or even just see something a different way, please let me know, and I can take a look at the comments and go ahead and implement your changes, okay? So we're going to go ahead and begin here. The first thing that I like to do is go ahead and change out the photo, because the photo pretty much is going to set the stage for the design. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select the photo here. And then that way, when I bring in my image, it's going to go on top of that photo. So let's go ahead and bring in our beautiful image. I'm going to use Remove BG just to remove the background, see how well it does with that. And of course, there are features in Photoshop that do the same thing. I just use this because most of the time it's pretty accurate and it is hassle-free. So I'm just going to drag and drop my image here. And I have this beautiful image here of this beautiful little spirit. We're going to go ahead and download in the high definition. So we'll have that with the full resolution there. All right, and once it's downloaded, I'm going to just drag and drop it right onto the Photoshop artboard here. And I'm going to resize it. Now I may do something a little different here, because you know how I do with the Remembrance designs. I gotta, put a little bit of love and positive energy and detail into it. So what I'm thinking is, even with the chair here, I'm thinking of taking the wings and making sure they blend behind his back so that it looks like the wings are on him. Okay, so let's do that. It's a little bit of extra work, but this is the type of work that I not even don't mind doing, but I really love providing this level of detail for these type of projects. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our wings here. All right, so that's the layer where we have our wings. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to bring the wings to the front. Usually the wings are in the back because we have the image cut out. But in this case, I'm going to bring the wings to the front, in front of the photo. And then I'm going to mask away the parts where the image is. So then that way I can make sure that it goes where I want it to go. And right now I'm going to turn the opacity down a little bit so I can see through the wings. And I can kind of get an idea of where I want these wings to pop out from. Bless you. All right, so the photo itself is in this folder. I'm going to go ahead and put a layer mask on this here. Then I'm going to use my paintbrush, grab a soft round brush here, bring down the size of it. And I'm going to use black because black conceals and the white reveals. I'm going to go ahead and brush away. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. I should have put the layer mask on the wings, not on our beautiful little fella here. So let's back up. We could put the layer mask on the wings because that's what we're revealing or concealing. Okay, now when I brush away, I'm going to kind of brush away a little more than I want at first, and then I'll bring back what I want to see. Okay. All right, now I'm going to bring back the opacity of the wings now so I can really tell what I'm doing and what I'm working with. Let's bring that back. And then now, instead of the black, because the black concealed, so now I want to reveal certain parts of the wings. I'm going to go back to the white now. And now I'm going to paint white, but I'm going to reduce the size of my brush here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on my little mouse cheat here. It'll tell you everything that I'm clicking on. Control Alt, then I'm right clicking. And if I go left to right, I get bigger and smaller. If I go up and down, I get a harder brush or a softer brush. I'm going to go a little bit harder because I want to be more precise, and then a little bit smaller. So I'm still going to have a little bit of feathering there, but it's not going to be as extreme. Now, the other thing that I can do is I could cut out a mask, you know, around the exact areas that I want to go. But because this is like a softer image, I don't have to, you know, stress myself out that much. I can kind of use my brush here and get my wings to come through. And then it's kind of just blending in here. Okay, I see a little bit of that pink coming through, and that's probably going to be generally fine, but I can always paint over the layer mask, and it's going to bring that in a little bit. So I want this to look like the real deal. So I'm taking a little more time, paying attention to the detail here. And then, of course, in this area here, you see, do I have, yes, I do have wings there. I was trying to uncover it to see if I have wings there. So I do have wings here. I'm going to go ahead and define that area. And I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger so I can fill in a little more quickly. And using the Control and Alt and the mouse to change out your brushes is a lot quicker and more efficient than consistently trying to right click and change your size and hardness. You can see it in real time. So Control Alt, I'm bringing that down and up. Right. My apologies. I had to take a little brief break to handle this little noise level in the background. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring back the wings here too. So same deal. I'm going to go ahead and paint with the white on that layer mask so that I'm bringing that back. Oh, Kaylin, and I'm sorry, I'm just seeing the comments. I guess they were down a little lower. Well, you won't see me, but you'll see the screen. So let me know if you can see what I'm working on. When I try to do video and do these high resolution Photoshop files and show my video camera, then I usually end up with a little bit of, or a lot of a lagging issue. So in that case, I just sacrifice you all seeing my beautiful face, and we just focus on the artwork. And every now and then I'll come on screen and let the video lag in spite of. All right, so I'm got a little carried away here. So if I want to take it back, then I'm going to bring black instead of the white's foreground. And I can bring that image back there. And see, even with my brush strokes now, I have some lag just because of us doing it live. And I'm going to get a little more precise here. I'm going to grab my pen tool. And because I want to make sure I get the curvatures here with the shadows, I am going to trace out this area here with the pen tool, with the dreaded pen tool. Once you start using the pen tool, it does become a lot less intimidating. And like I said, I have quite a little bit of lag here, and I can even see it in my pen. So I appreciate you all for being patient with me. And go back one more step. And I'm using the mouse here. It is easier to use the pen tool if you actually have some type of stylus or tablet that you work from. And then I'm going to cut it right here. Then I'm going to turn this into a selection. All right, it was already turned into a shape, so let's hit Control here. We get our little marching ants. And then when I go back to my wings, I'm going to turn them back on. And now I'm going to clean this up a little bit. So inside of it, I'm going to choose the white, and I'm going to fill it in from the inside. And then what I'm going to do is feather it just a little bit. And I can do this over here on the side where I can feather it here. I go back to I can go to any of the selection tools. So I can go to the square selection, polygon lasso, or the magic wand tool. And it gives me an option here to select and mask. All right, so I'm just going to increase the feathering here a little bit, and you should see it represented here in this white area. You'll see it kind of look a little softer on the edges. And usually I'm feathering maybe 1 to 2 pixels, just so that it doesn't have a hard, unnatural edge there. All right, so now I'm going to select OK. And I just filled in all the inside. So now I'm going to select the inverse. So now I have the outside meat selected. So the outside of this area. I'm going to grab my paintbrush, and I'm going to go with the black now and conceal those areas around those marching ants. So then that cleans it up just like I want it. Right, and then to get rid of the marching ants, I'm going to do Control D to deselect. And there we have the wings looking like they're right where they're supposed to be. And of course, I need to come in here, and I'm going to add back this area right here because it got a little bit transparent. All right, so we'll make sure that everything we want is in the image. And anything that we don't want that's in the image, we can kind of fade it off. So I'm going to kind of fade off a little bit down here because I see some elements that look cut off. And it's probably just cut off in the photo. So now I'm going to make sure when I choose my brush, I'm going to make myself a new layer mask here. And I'm going to make sure I have a nice, soft, round brush with 0% hardness because I want it to look like it's just a part of these little floating clouds here. And of course I have to turn on my black to conceal because I had white selected the last time. And see, I'm just fading it off here a little bit. And that way it gives it a nice natural edge instead of like looking like the edge of the picture just cut off. We can make it look really natural there. And here we go. It's going to be for our Kaylin. All right. So I'm going to take a little step back here while I look at the directions. And Kaylin, let me know how this is going so far. Let me know if you want to keep the halo, even if you don't like the wings. If you want me to take the wings off, I absolutely can. So the halo, the wings, do you want to show the cross in the back with the clouds? Because if that's the case, all of this is set and ready to go. And then we can start working on the colors. And let me check the notes here to see the colors that you want to work with. So we're going to do black and orange, or black roses with orange. Okay, so next what we're going to do is go ahead and do our color scheme. So then that way we can kind of see how the image flows. And we can go ahead and put the text here too. We're going to do happy 4th birthday. So I'm going to click on the text that's already here. Make sure I'm on my move tool. Click on the text. I'm going to take the in love and memory part. I'm just going to double click here. That way I can type over it. I'm going to say happy 4th birthday. And then I'm going to take the name off. So it'll be just happy 4th birthday. And we'll do the top name here. And we'll replace that with King. I'm just double clicking on the text there. And Dallas. So we'll do that. We'll right click, find Butler here. But we have to go to the move tool. That text tool is a little tricky, so you have to hit the move tool to get out of the text tool. And then I'm going to go to the last name here and place that. Okay. And the image has this beautiful, grayscale, kind of black and white, really crisp and clean. Like, it's a nice photo. The high resolution, so I think that's going to print for you really well. Let me see here too. I think I need to fade the wing off a little bit because I'm over his hand right here. So let me go ahead and fix that. And in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and turn the wings off for a moment, and I'm going to use my pen tool again. This pen tool is not so bad. And what I'm going to do, I should have just done this from the beginning. Because although it looks like I saved a little time using the brush tool, I end up usually a little unimpressed, and my pen tool is lagging a little bit. Let me go back. And then what I'm doing is I'm clicking and dragging in order to get a curve. And then however far I drag it determines how neat or how messy my curves can get. I really have to pay attention to what the intention is of my next click. That's how you work with your curves. And I'm just taking my time here because there is a little bit of a lag with the live stream, but we're gonna make it work. We always do. Now, if I don't want to curve, if I want a corner instead, I'm just tapping, okay? And you see the difference between when I just tap, I get a straight corner, but when I click and drag, I'm gonna get a curve. All right. And I'm just gonna kind of arbitrarily come down here because I want to come on the outside to make sure that I have everything that I want. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and take this shape. I'm going to hit Control, select this area here of the shape. It turns into the marching ants. I'm going to go ahead and turn the shape off now because I have what I want, which is just this area selected. And let's go ahead and feather this a little bit. And I have to make sure that I'm on whatever layer I'm going to be affecting. So I'm going to be on the wings layer here. I'll turn my wings layer back on so you can see what's going to be affected. All right, and right now I have the outside area selected, so I'm going to reveal all of that. So we're going to do that by using the white here. And see how I brought all that part of the image back? And then I'm going to select the inverse now. And once I select the inverse, I'm going to turn it to the black because that's where I'm going to bring the image. Well, I'm going to hide the image of the wing so that it reveals the image of the photo below. Oh, that I actually need it. I wanted to keep that up there. So let's go ahead and hit deselect now, and I'm going to bring my wings back here. There we go. And I'm softening it up just a little bit around those edges. All right, that's better now. Like I said, these are pieces for people. This is artwork for folks. This is, isn't like a one-time kind of project like a typical birthday shirt. This is a memorial piece. This is something that people will keep for a lifetime. So that's why I usually put a little bit more into the detail and making sure that I feel like it speaks to the loved ones. All right, so I think the image looks good. If you want to do any changes, let me know, Kaylin, as I'm going. Okay, you say the halo and cross are fine. Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's play with the colors here. Now, pretty much, I'm going to do something to this template. Let's see, we're going to do, so everywhere we see pink right now is kind of the colors that we're going to be adjusting. And I know we said we're going to do like a black and orange. So what I'm thinking for the roses, now you'll let me know. I'm going to do the roses in black as you requested. But I'll do one side black and one side maybe orange, or we'll fade up from orange to black or something. And I'll give you some options so that you can kind of give me an idea of what looks best for you. So everywhere I see pink, I'm going to actually duplicate this one. I'm going to turn off the existing pink. And I'm going to come here and we're going to make our own color right here. Okay, now what this did is I just brought it to the black and white, but I'm going to go back for a moment. And what I'm going to do is take every dark color here and replace it with the absolute black. And then we'll take the lighter color here and kind of make it a gray color. So we have a little bit of variation there. And then of course we can come back and change the blend modes and make it like really dark. If we want to make it really dark, we'll do all of that as well. So right now I'm just establishing myself a nice deep gradient here. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Well, let me close up this folder. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom and hit new. So now I have that kind of black to gray as my new. And then what I'm going to do is everywhere I see the pink, I'm going to, let me select my move tool. I'm going to grab all the gradient fills there. And because this is a copy of the original version, I'm not worried about saving over it. So I'm going to just replace all the pink now with the black and gray. And then we'll figure out where we want to add our pop of color. Now for the roses, we're going to look and we'll see that we have a color overlay here or a hue saturation change there. I'm going to turn them off and turn them back on so you can see that. So what we did here is we changed the red to the pink hue. So now we're going to play with, okay, well, what happens if I go to that and instead of, if I want it to be black, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the saturation all the way down. That means that is how much of the color that you're really using versus black and white. So I'm going to bring it all the way down. Then I'm going to bring down the lightness so that I get, I'm basically trying to make these black, right? So pulling that down. And as a matter of fact, I think let's keep the green because I do want a little color here. So let me step back a moment. Instead of changing the entire thing, I'm going to change just the red layer or the red hue. Let's go back to our hue saturation. I'm going to go to the reds. And you see how in order to get pink, I played with the hue, saturation, and lightness. So I'm going to just affect the reds right now. I'm going to bring the saturation all the way down to 0 so it has no color saturation at all. And see how we start to build our black roses? And then what I'll do, because we're making black roses, instead of a dark glow, we'll make a light glow so that it pops out. And I can go ahead and do that now just so I don't forget. Go to the outer glow here. And instead of screen, I'm going to put it on normal. And I'm going to change this black to white just so it pops off of this background a little bit. And you see that? So now the roses look like they sort of lift off of the background just a little bit. And that's the black roses. So then what I'm going to do next is show you if we want to go with black roses, I probably will darken this background up just to kind of go with it as well. And then maybe we'll bring the orange in through the sky and maybe even here in the mid levels of the sky. So I'm taking the cues from you as far as where the colors go, but let me know if I'm playing with something and you like it, just let me know. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so these are the roses on the right sleeve. I think we have what we were essentially looking for. Okay, so our roses are now black. And you can even play here with the levels. If you wanted a little more difference in the contrast, of the shadows and the highlights. You can definitely manipulate that there, but keep in mind you're isolating some of your hues, so it may affect how your recoloring does. And I just have to give it a moment to render because it is using quite a little bit of data here. Now, when you're doing black, sometimes you have to lighten it up a little bit because with sublimation, if you let something look, not have enough contrast between a darker and a lighter black, and you all know what I'm talking about, the True Colors ink does a lot better for deciphering when you have deeper tones and less deeper tones. So it's essentially like skin tones, right? For skin tones, when you have darker brown and a little bit lighter brown, or in hair, you want to see the details. Sometimes we have like lighter streaks in our hair and darker streaks in our hair. If we don't have enough contrast, the printer is just going to think it's one color and it's going to look like a blob. So that's why I'm adding a little bit of gray detail so that we can see the difference between the petals of the roses. All right, so that's the black there. I think I like that the way it is. I'm going to go ahead and take these two and work on my roses for the left. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And all I'm going to do is take these two layers that I just made. I'm going to Alt, click, and drag. That means I'm making a duplicate of it. And I'm going to drag it above my roses layer. And then I'm going to get rid of the previous layers here. Just so I can keep it consistent. All right, and then of course we did with the other one, we chose to do a white glow instead of a black glow. So what I'm going to do is just find my layer style for the roses here. I'm going to copy that layer style and I'm going to paste it to the roses on the other side. Okay, so now they match. All right, and here, before I start coloring the ones at the bottom here, I kind of want to do my overall look. So let's see what things look like when we go into playing with the background colors. So right now I'm going to focus on recoloring the heaven and the clouds back here. And let's see, I have this black is affecting everything in the background. And I'm going to tell it to just affect right now, just affect the very background clouds for the moment. Because I really want to spend some time here. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have just turned it off. Let me just turn it off for a moment. Because I want to get a little color going on right here. And so I'm going to go ahead and close up my roses here. Turn them off for a moment. And I'm going to focus on recoloring this one instead of, like I'm saying, instead of the black to black. What I'm going to focus on is kind of creating some orange here and then let it fade out to black and see if we like that. All right, and I'm going to start with the kind of a sunset type of colorway there. And already that warms my heart, but I want to make sure that my colors are in the place where I want them to be. So what I'm looking for is to kind of warm up this center, and then we'll kind of bring back in the black at the top. All right, and let me go ahead and put black on here so we can see what that looks like. I'm going to drag it all the way to the bottom left corner here. And then what I'm going to do, instead of angle here, I'm going to go ahead and turn this one to, I'm going to turn it to radial. Okay, now radial, you see how it starts with one color in the middle, and then that color kind of resonates from the inside out. Now, in order to see that black come through, I have to make the black more prominent from the outer area. And then I'm going to reverse it. All right, see how it's kind of glowing from the inside now? And for the orange, let me see, I think I'm going to play with making it more of less red of an orange, maybe more like a burnt orange. I'm thinking I like that a little bit better. And then the yellow, instead of a bold yellow, I'm going to turn it into more like of a golden yellow. So I'm going to go closer to the oranges here. I'm going to grab kind of like a golden yellow. So it is a version of orange. It's just a little bit different variation. And next I'm going to play with my blend mode to see if I can get this area out here darker. So right now it's on color. I'm going to play with the blend mode here. So here I'm going to go to darken. And it's going to take a little while for it to render because it is it's doing the live stream here. So y'all bear with me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a black and white layer underneath this so that it recolors everything the same way. So let's go ahead and add a layer adjustment, and let's find black and white. This is going to make everything underneath it black and white. So then that way when we're recoloring, we only have to worry about the colors that we're choosing here. So that's darken. Now I'm just going to go down the line with my arrow keys. I'm going to do one at a time. And as I stated, it's running a little slow. So y'all bear with me. I'm on multiply right now. Multiply is kind of giving it to me with the oranges. Let's see, but I lost my roses. So I'm going to keep playing through these layers. That color burn, I think could really work. I even like how it's making the roses here orange, but it's a little too intense. So let me see. I'm going to see if something else works a little bit better, but I'm also playing with the opacity. So there's so many things I can play with. I'm playing with the opacity, I'm playing with the blend mode, and of course we're making our own gradient here. But that almost works for me right there because I still see the roses. They kind of pull the black back in. I might go with this. So that one is color burn. So y'all remind me about color burn. And then we're going to keep going because there might be one that just works even better. That is linear burn. So far, my favorite is color burn. Screen and lighten are usually ones that you want to use when you're doing like pastel colors or really light colors. They work really well to make it make the colors make sense. Okay. Vivid light's a little too harsh in my areas where I want my orange and black to blend together. So far, I think color burn was our best bet. So Caitlin, let me know if any of these color modes you like better. But I think we found what we're going to work with, which was color burn. And we'll adjust it from there. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is kind of play more with the black here. I'm going to pull it back for now. Kind of let the orange show through, and then I'll build back the black in this area. Because I like how it kind of, the sunlight is taking the black roses and adding a little bit of light and color there. But just let me know if the orange is what you want. Do you want this darker of an orange, or do you want a lighter, brighter orange? Let me know and I can change that. All right, so let's go ahead, and I think this area here has some pink on there. Let me go ahead and let me make this a new swatch just in case we need it. And I'll say okay here. So the radial is working out for us. I rarely use radial, but in this sense, since we're making it look like it's sunshine around the clouds, radial works perfect. So I'm going to come down here and see. We have the foreground clouds, right? And the foreground clouds have a little color overlay to them. Right now, it's got this kind of deep mauve hue. Let's go ahead, let's pick one of these deep oranges and let it do its thing. And see how now it's kind of turned those roses that you barely can even tell they're roses, but it's giving us a little orange down there. And here's what we can do. We can keep the bottom with the white clouds, or we can turn them orange if you want to pull the orange back in. I think what we can do is kind of pull in the black to the top, then the orange to the white. And then I think it kind of, if you want to go with the black roses, it doesn't look so heavy. It looks like it's a little bit lighter. So let me know how you feel about that. And I'm going to just show you that. So for the roses, if we want to stick with the black roses down here, I'm going to take and copy the layer style for the roses here. And really the roses at the bottom, I'm going to let them keep the black shadow because they're on against the white clouds. So the only thing I'm worried about changing here for the roses is just like we did before where we did the levels and the hue. Let's go ahead and change that. Oh, I think we're up here. The roses for the right sleeve. Remember we had the hue and the levels, so I'm just going to take those. I'm going to alt click and drag down. What was it up? I'm sure I'll find out. I'm just taking this up so we can put them over the other roses. So now this is going to go over the roses at the bottom. I can right click and create a clipping mask so that it's only going to affect this area here. So we'll get our orange back there. I'm going to turn off the existing levels. And then for the outer glow, since the roses are black now, we're going to go ahead and change the outer glow to white. All right, and then I'm going to go back to this gradient layer here. I'm going to take off the black here, and then we're just going to manually put some black on there. I'm going to pull the black in there. So I'm going to grab, I'm going to do a new layer, or let's do new layer. Now let's do a new adjustment layer. That way I can do a radial gradient. So I'm going to do another gradient. I'm going to still do a radial. I'm just doing this one separate. So this one's going to go black to transparent. So I still see my orange underneath. So instead of the pink here, I'm going to go black and say okay. And then I have to change this one to white, or I can change it to black. I'll change it to black. Because although it's transparent, it will have a little tint of whatever color you have there. Right, and I'm going to pull this color stop in because I want to see much more of that intense black. And right now it's coming from the inside going out, but I'm going to reverse this one. So I'm going to flip this one. I want to reverse it so that it goes out and then comes into transparent. And I'm going to scale back on the black just a little bit. Remember, we're going to make those roses pop through there. I'm just trying to get the intensity of my black and my placement of my black where I want it. Okay. And now I'm going to mess with the blend mode here. So the blend mode for the orange can be completely different from the blend mode of the black. And again, I'm going to go through my different blend modes here, see which one I like better, and give it a moment. All right now it's on darken. I'm going to go down. And bring down the opacity just a little bit so that it's not the pure black there, so we can see what's going on. And I think this would be a good opportunity to use color. I know it's going to make it lighter, I think. Let's see. They'll make it more grayscale there, and that's not what we want. Let's try the color burn here. It's giving it to me a little too intense. This one below the orange. I apologize for taking so long to render these. I'm not used to this going so slow. You like it more with the orange roses in the back instead of the black? Cool. All right, so let's do the lighter orange and then the orange roses, and let's see how that works out. So let's take this orange here. We're going to replace it. I'm going to move a little bit more towards the yellows and then bring it more to pure orange instead of the reddish orange. And then I'm going to take the lighter orange now and bring it a little more towards the golden yellows. And then I'm going to turn off the black there that darkens it up just to see what it looks like naturally. And then we'll take this area here. Remember, for the foreground clouds, we did a color overlay there too. And I think I'm getting a little more yellow than I want, so I'll probably bring it a little closer to the orange, because that color burn is doing something a little different. So let me make sure that we may have to use a different blend mode now that we're changing that color, because we're getting a lot more yellow than we want. All right, so when we recolor here, it's giving us the lighter version. Go with multiply, usually it's going to give us pretty much a tone on tone. I think I like the color burn, we just need to change the colors. Oh, I know what we can do instead of this. Let's do a gradient map. Yes, yes. So I'm going to go here, go gradient map, and then I'm going to choose what I want my darkest color to be, which I'm going to put as black for right now, and what I want my lightest color to be, which is going to be an orange. And then that way I don't get any weird colors that I don't want. So that's not quite the darkest color or quite the lightest color. I'm going to bring it towards the middle, and then I'm going to choose what I want my lightest color to be. There we go. So I can do more of like a pastel type of orange. And that's going into pretty much black as my darkest shadow there. Oops, I put a darker color in front of the lighter one. That is not what I intended to do. Then I can still add a little bit of white right here so that my highest highlight is white. So then that makes the cross glow a little bit more, and some of the highlight areas in my flowers kind of stand out a little bit more. And then this is how I'm going to build the yellow back in. So I'm going to take the yellow, put on top of this one. You know what? I think I forgot to turn this one off the whole time. Let's see what it looks like off. So let me know which one you like better, the more intense color or kind of like the lighter style color. And if you still want to do the black roses, I'm going to go ahead and bring up our other rose set over there on the other side. And I can kind of ground it a little bit where the black can kind of make its way back into the design here with the black and white image. And let me know if you want to intensify this color in the background with the orange or make it a little lighter. And as a matter of fact, let me show you what that looks like again. Okay. And Kaylin, let me know too if you don't like I know you requested the black roses, but if you don't want the roses to be black, let me know and I will make them another color, okay? And while I'm waiting on that, I know it takes a little time for the comments to come through, so I'm going to go ahead and start working on the color down here for King. I'm going to double click on the FX here, and it's got a gradient overlay of that pink. So I'm going to just choose one of my darker oranges for right now. And then choose one of the lighter oranges here. Then I'm going to also bring back my grid lines, make sure that nothing is too much out of place there. Okay, and then I'm going to show you just like an overall. I'm going to just add a new layer and do a little bit of a a little bit of a gradient here with the black just to see if that kind of brings the roses in a little bit more. No, I think I'm just trying to find a way to make the black roses on the orange background and I have a way of blending back in. But if you like the contrast of it, then that's good too, because basically you are going to get the most contrast with a dark on a light color or a light on a dark color. Just let me know if you like the black roses here, because if we do the black roses, then I'm going to change a little bit of the text here, because inside of the happy, it picks up the black, so I'm going to brighten it up a little bit behind there. And I want you to keep in mind too that, let me show you how this would look as a shirt. I'm going to pull in a mock-up, because I want you to see that basically on your standard size shirts, you're not going to see all of this out here. You're really going to focus and concentrate more on this inside area. So let's pull up, which one did we do? Our mock-up was what, 122? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this design right now. And we're just going to make this big enough to do the mock-up. I'm just giving you an idea of what's actually going to make it on the shirt, so you have a good understanding of where those roses will probably end up, and you know how much of the roses will be on the shirt based on what size shirt you're doing. So this will be like your, your medium size shirt here, how much would fit on the shirt. And honestly, when we do it like this medium size shirt, I like the black roses because they kind of define where the sleeve area is. That's kind of cool. So let's see if that's our lunch area there. I'm just going to bring my image down here. To the all over layer. There we go. All right, so that looks more like what your sublimation layout would be. And let me line that up a little bit better. I know better than that. There we are. I'm just copying that orange color so I can make my shoes orange. Copy the hex code. All right, so y'all let me know if I am still live or if there's any problem right now, because I don't see any more comments coming through, and I want to make sure that Kaylin is approving of the design, or if I need to do something different, you'll let me know. I'm going to back up a little bit, turn on our outline here, and I'm going to make sure that I save, because I've been tripping. I have not been saving the whole time. So I'm going to go ahead and save. Okay, good. All right. Now this was the 122 course with a mock-up, but I'm just doing this because a lot of times we look at these Oliver prints and we forget how much of the print is actually a bleed, so we don't get a real true understanding of what it looks like. And Kaylin, since you are doing this live and you want to probably present this, I don't mind giving you the PNG version of this mock-up so that you can show your clients or your loved ones. Charmaine, this is all a template here, all of this stuff with the roses, and you can find a lot of these assets just by Googling, just by doing a search for high resolution images. I do a lot of tutorials where I show you how I design from scratch. So I would definitely tell you to take a look at some of those videos on YouTube. But this is a template that I offer that you can change the colors on, you can edit the text, of course, change out the photos, and it's pretty much like I did all the heavy lifting, and the thing that you have to focus on is modifying it so that it makes your customer happy. So I just wanted you to see when we did the mock-up how much of this orange is really never going to even show up because it's in the bleed area for most size shirts. So if you get into 3X, you might get a little more of this orange on here, but for the most part, your design is going to look pretty much like this. All right, so I'm afraid I might have lost Kaylin, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and save, because I think at 8 o'clock, I believe I set up an appointment for 8 o'clock to show you all what we're doing for the all over press session, where we're going to do a live workshop where you will do the tile template, you'll tile your image, you will print your images on the 4 sheets of paper, we'll trim them, put the pieces together, tape them, and do the large board pressing session where we do 4 presses with it might even be 5 presses, just depends on how even your pressure is on your heat press. So 5 presses max, and we'll have an all over shirt up to a size large. So I'm going to go over what I expect for you all to have, what materials. Is very, very simple. So we're going to do that at 8 o'clock. Let me see if I have any new comments here. Okay, Kaylin, awesome, awesome, love. Okay, so I'm going to, are there any other changes? Oh, I said I was going to change the happy birthday. So now that we know we're going to kind of go with these colors. You see how the happy here just kind of, it gets a little drowned out by the black flowers there. So I'm going to go behind the happy because I like it being a little transparent. It's just that it's picking up too much of that black. So right underneath there, I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm just going to paint a little bit of orange on that layer. So I'm picking up my orange here. I'm going to get a little fuzzy brush there, and I'm just going to kind of make it look like there is some orange there. And of course, I didn't just straight up paint it. I'm trying to make it look like it has some of the lighter and the darker orange, like it's kind of up against something there. Okay, so then it kind of matches the birthday on the other side. So if you're happy, I'm happy with that. Just give me the go ahead, and I will go ahead and save this as a PNG. And let me know, Kaylin, have you ever done Photoshop before? Because even if you haven't and you're interested in this, I will send you the Photoshop file for free because you allowed us to help you today with this process. And I definitely don't mind sharing the file with you because I know that this is probably a difficult project to work on, especially being that it's such a little one. Okay, so let me know, and I'll send you the flattened version of this as a PNG, just so that you could print it. You can print it if you have a 13x19 printer. We have a splitter that splits it up into whatever minimal tiles that you need for whatever size shirt that you're pressing. And then if you want to do the full sheets, the 36x44 sheets, we do ship and print. We do print and ship. We don't ship them before we print them, of course, but we print and ship those as well. So of course you can email me back with that request and what you want to do there. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I save. So in order to save this as a PNG, I'm going to go save as. I'm going to save it as a PNG here. And I think one more thing I wanted to do, I forgot about it. I wanted to make King a little bit bigger. Because it's a shorter name, we can afford to make it a little bit bigger. And I think that does really well there. All right, and if that looks good, again, I'm going to save as a PNG. I like to just save over the existing PNG so I don't have too many versions and I forget which one I want to print. And then we'll go ahead and pull that same image into the mock-up. And like I said, I will send you. As a matter of fact, if I go back and I just go to the smart object, I can just replace. Replace the PNG right here. Oh, I forgot to take off the outside, so let's see if it still lines up for me. I'm going to delete this layer, and then I have to flatten the image, hit yes, and then it's going to update that artwork. Or all I really did, I made King a little bigger, and then I colored inside the happy so it wasn't dark anymore. Yeah, now King pops out a little bit better. Yes, I love that. Yep, yep. Okay, Kaylin, you want to put the date on there? Let's do that. Oh, you know what? You did message that to me. So let's see. I'm going to copy and paste it so I don't get it wrong. Copy here. And let's see, do I have a place on this one? If I don't have a place for the dates, now let me know too. I have some doves here somewhere. They'll pop up. There they go. So if you want the doves on there, let me know because I kind of forgot about those. And they may have been displayed on the other. Here we go. So there's one there, one here. Now we said we're going to put the date on here. If I don't have a date, then I'll just input one here. I'll put it right here instead of long live. We'll paste the date. And of course, we're going to make it match this theme. I'll put it right below here. We'll make sure that it's going to stand out. So I'm going to do Control Plus just to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to bring my gate up a little bit too because I almost forgot it was back there. There you go. All right, so I said I was gonna clean up the date. Now let me know if you want to see any different colors in what I'm choosing here, okay? So I'm just going to go to my effects here. I have a color overlay on it right now. Usually with the date, I make it smaller, so I keep it a little more simple. So we'll do a flat color here. And I might go with a darker orange just because I'm lining it with the white so that it stays contrasting against the black roses there. So I'm just playing around and picking different colors. And that looks good to me, maybe a little tad bit darker. So that it contrasts well with the white outline. And I think I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller so it's not so much as the focal point, and then kind of space it out a little bit. There we go. Let me know how you like that or if you want to see any changes there. Oh, I meant to hit Control minus. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. I'm hitting Control minus on my window there. Control 0 is going to zoom us all out. And I think that the white there is it's making the date less legible. So let me see if I do a black stroke instead of the white stroke. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is a white glow instead of, or a white drop shadow instead of the black drop shadow. See what that looks like. Instead of multiply, I'm going to change it to normal. And I don't like the drop shadow, but I might do an outer glow. And now because I have it outlined with the darker black, I can color it with the lighter orange. And see if that stands out a little bit better. There it goes. It just bothered me a little. It was sitting a little too camouflaged there. I'm going to add an additional stroke and make the back stroke be white and be a little bit bigger than the black stroke. Let me know how that looks to you. I'm trying to do the most to let it stand out, but not make it so big. All right, Kaylin, so let me know what you think, love. And I am going to, oops, forgot I was supposed to start that other live at 8 o'clock. I think I'm gonna have to just change the time for that one because I want to make sure that this is completed. All right, loves, I'm gonna go ahead. Okay, so yes, add the doves. Good deal. I am saving this now, and I'm gonna go ahead and update the mock-up. I went ahead and started the other live stream because otherwise Facebook will kick me out of the live stream for our other class tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead, since we made some changes, I'm gonna go to the smart object of this shirt on the mock-up here. Let's go back to our image here, and I'm going to resave this now with the dates. File, save as. I'm going to save it. Oops, I guess it's still saving. I'm going to save as a PNG. And yes, I'm going to save over the previous version so we don't miss and print the wrong one with the dates missing. Let's say OK here. And Kaylin, I'll go ahead and get this emailed over to you so that you will have this to preview. And then if any changes need to be made, just message that email back and we can make any changes that you need. And I'm just going to replace this image. By dragging and dropping it here. Hit enter. I'm going to delete this background layer. Go ahead and flatten this image so that it is a plain old JPEG layer. Now when I hit yes, it's going to update this design and we should be good to go here. All right, and if we, of course, we need to see the date a little more so that we make sure it's correct, because sometimes people will catch something and it'll be a minor mistake, but not worth redoing over again. So I'm going to move these shoes out of the way so that, yeah, they're cute for the mock-up, but we need to see the information. Same thing with the jeans here. Take the jeans and move them out the way so we can see more of the design here. So the jeans are still there looking cool, but we get to make sure the information is correct. That's what's most important. The doves are on there. We have our cross, our halo, and our wings. So all of the elements are there, all our colors that we wanted to incorporate are there. And yeah, I think it came out to be a really, really nice and thoughtful design. Yeah, Vegan Life. As a matter of fact, I put the wrong date in to end the sale. So the sale is technically still on. For those that didn't know, we had a 50% off sale. All of the templates, the ink, the graduation stoles, y'all bought those out. The 60-inch ones are gone. We have a few 72-inch ones left. We'll have some more by the end of either this week or next week, but y'all definitely bought those out with the 50% off sale, which I understand because graduation is coming around the corner, and y'all know once graduation comes and everybody's ordering those stoles, they get very scarce and hard to come by. So then they end up going to like $9, $10 per stole instead of the usual $6.50. Right now they're on the website for $3 and $3.50. So I think the sale is still on because I put the date, instead of making it end yesterday, I made it end today. So because a few people caught it already this morning, and y'all know y'all slick, I just went ahead and let it go so that it was fair to everyone. So yes, all of the templates, including this one, they're normally $20 to $30. They're $10 right now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this for you, Kaylin, and I'll save this as a JPEG or a PNG for you. Even though PNG just means usually that it's going to have a transparent background. And this, you don't necessarily need a transparent background. So honestly, it would probably be easier to save this one as a JPEG, just in case you want to share it on like Facebook or something. Like, I think it's Instagram that won't let you share PNGs. It'll only let you do JPEGs. So then this is yours to advertise as if it's, you know, your design too. So if you want to put this mock-up on any of your social media or present it to anyone as your work, I am completely fine with that. Okay. Thank you, Chrissy Poo. Chrissy Poo says, if y'all haven't tried the ink, please jump on it. That ink is on sale right now. I think it's $20. But isn't it $20 right now? Because it's 50% off. It's $20 for 127 milliliters of each of the colors. So it's not 100 milliliters, it's 127. And it works with the Eco Tank setup as well as the desktop medium format printers. And of course, we have the large format printer ink too. So if y'all are interested in doing the 44-inch printers and converting those over to sublimation, the 7270s are working well with the Pro ink that we have. Colors just really, I mean, even more vibrant, if you can believe it or not. If you like the colors of the True ink for the 7710s and 20s, the Pro ink is like, you know, putting spice on it. It's just really, really extremely vibrant, and it has more color. You can get more of a color gamut with that big printer because it's meant to do commercial printing versus the desktop version. So definitely get into that. If that's something you've been wanting to do, the 50% off sale is a very low in occurrence type of sale. I do flash sales every single month, at least one flash sale a month, but I very rarely do 50% off flash sales. So this is really an opportunity to take advantage for the products 50% off. All right, so thank you all for bringing that up. Finding her way. Yep, you're probably one of the ones I was like, oh, she got me, so I got to let it ride. But that's good. I'm not mad at y'all because y'all stay advertising for the brand and really keeping this thing going. So, what do we call those? Those are gifts, right? They're gifts in the market. All right, so I'm saving this one. I already did save it as a JPEG for you. I got this one as a PNG, and then I'm also going to send you this Photoshop file, Kaylin. If you just want to watch this video and play with this template again, get your Photoshop license. It's $9.99 a month if you don't already have it. And maybe play with exactly what we did today and see if this is something that you may want to do for yourself in the future. I love helping you all. I love even more teaching you all. Okay. So if I can teach you to fish, that makes me a proud graphic mama bear. Okay. All right. But I definitely don't mind helping you all when you all reach out and need that. Okay. And you know what I'm noticing here? I'm noticing I need to bring these roses over. See, the more I look at something, yes, the more I look at something, the more it kind of starts speaking to me. And see, I have the dove right here. So it's kind of adding that color behind it. But yeah. Yep. So when I take the left and the right, the boom and the boom, Control T. Yep. See how it should be centered right about there? I'm just inching it over a little bit. That makes me happy. And see, I just painted behind that a little bit. All right, that's it. So if you all will meet me on the other live, if I don't know if you see it, but you should see another live in Facebook right now. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Let me ask them. Can you all hear me? All right, and I'm going to go ahead and close out this session so that we can get started on talking about the all over split, print, and press class. Okay. So thank you so much, Kaylin. I'm really, really honored to help you all with this project. It means a lot to me when you all reach out to me for these very, especially these touching projects. It makes it worth explaining to you all and taking my time and walking through the process. Because literally most of the time I can edit these templates in like 10 minutes. And that's why we call them 10-minute tea templates. But when you all want to learn and you want to be around and you want to see the process, it means a lot to me that you want to be in that position. So I definitely take my time and want to make sure that you get the most out of this situation. Okay, my love. So I'm going to close out this session. I will meet you all in the other live if it's working. I think I see a few people over there already. Okay. You're absolutely welcome, 50 plus. And thank you. Thank you for popping up today and joining us live. I like to see the new names. Okay. All right, loves. I'll see y'all over there on the other one. And if I don't catch you on the other live, y'all know what it is. I love y'all for real. But for now, I'm just going to say bye.